The gay bar is in trouble. The sentence stumbled off the pages of The Guardian, as if in a drunken lament. Precise figures are hard to pinpoint, the journalist wrote. But the moral of the story is clear. Gay bars around the world are closing in alarming numbers. Now imagine that I've handed you a copy of the Boston Review, an independent nonprofit literary magazine and forum for public reasoning about the most pressing ideas of our times. As you scan this periodical from across the pond, your eyes, like mine, linger on another distressing headline: The Death of the Gay Bar. Reading the essay makes me wonder about nightlife, what it means, why it matters, how it's changing. In a world in which queer people are ever more accepted and rigid identity categories make less and less sense, what is the purpose of gay bars? Do we still need them? A dour tone is widespread these days, as the media catches on to a global epidemic of closures. Where the Washington Post is almost blasé, noting that the number of gay bars has dwindled, The Economist sees them as under threat. Bloomberg hits harder, labeling them an endangered species. ID, an LGBTQ+ media channel, goes further still, asking if the entire gay scene, meaning all of nightlife, is dead. And these headlines generally describe trends that were underway before the pandemic. By April 2020, 57% of the human population, that's 4.4 billion people, would be under some form of lockdown. The conversation confirmed what I could see as I walked the lonesome streets of my neighborhood at home. All kinds of businesses, including gay bars, were shuttered by the coronavirus. And, as Reuters pointed out, scrambling to avert collapse. These beloved gathering places of ours had been struggling for a while, but the pandemic shut down the party, putting gay bars on life support. I personally noticed the crush of closure coverage around the time I moved to London. For a sabbatical, my friend Ryan invited me to join him at the London School of Economics and Political Science, where he was a member of the faculty. There was no particular reason why I needed to be there, although I have been drawn ineffably to that city for as long as I can remember. I happily accepted the invitation. 5 months in London sounded like a dream, deciding in the spirit of serendipity to follow my feelings and see what would happen. I arrived in January 2018, untroubled by the gray skies and rainy days. Vancouver, where I live, is much the same. It was easy enough to establish a routine, walking along Kingsway to and from the university from my nearby flat, picking up a cortado and copy of the Free Daily paper by the Holborn tube stop. That's when I first noticed it. Extra, extra! A few months earlier, University College London, UCL, published a bombshell report about nightlife. Ben Campkin and Lo Marshall startled the entire city with their findings. Between 2006 and 2016, 58% of bars, pubs, and nightclubs that catered to LGBTQ+ people shuttered. Once upon a time, there were 125 places to go. But by 2016, only 53 remained. A colossal loss. An audit by the Greater London Authority, the GLA, found that 44% of all nightclubs, 35% of all grassroots music venues, and 25% of all pubs had closed too. All nightlife venues were suffering, clearly. And yet, LGBTQ+ spaces were suffering disproportionately. It was around this time that Samuel Dueck, an architect turned film director, coined the term closure epidemic to describe the scene sweeping London, and in America, Australia, Belgium, Canada, Denmark, France, Netherlands, New Zealand, and Sweden. In the United States, Gregor Mattson documented a 37% decline in gay bars between 2007 and 2017, roughly the same time period covered by the UCL study. Some groups were harder hit. The number of lesbian bars fell by 51%.